Hey there, welcome to another episode, another lecture, another class in personal finance. I'm Jim Munchbag. It is Tuesday, 27 of August, year of our Lord 2024. I can't believe how fast this year is going, but it is going very fast. Okay, we're going to get started. I have the Zoom room open for those students who want to be here to ask questions and participate, but this is being live streamed to Facebook, YouTube, X, and so this will be available in our playlist. So we'll get started here in just a couple minutes. We're going to talk about budgets and saving. We're going to do a review of last week, really the philosophy behind why saving is so important in the context of financial planning. So that is something that is one of the fundamental elements of financial success is saving. So that's what we're going to talk about today. A budget is something that we use, a tool that we use so that we have resources available, freed up to save. So hopefully that will make sense. I am hoping that this stream is working well, but I'm looking at the output monitor, and I'm not sure. This happened last week as well. The video that got posted to YouTube was really nice. I mean, it had high definition. Everything was good, but it looks like in the Zoom room, the video is fuzzy. So I'm not sure why, but I would always encourage you to watch these on the playlist at YouTube. This is an asynchronous course, which means it's online and on demand. Most of the learning content is over there at Money Study Group. So if you have not yet enrolled, you need to do that, because that's where you're going to get the information you need to be able to move forward in the course. Especially, that is also where the quizzes and the tests are. We don't have a final exam, so you will be taking quizzes every week and Money Study Group. So let's get started. It is now 10:03 a.m. and I'm not seeing anyone in the Zoom room right now, which is just fine. I'm assuming we've had tons of activity, I guess, on YouTube. And so, by the way, I did get an email from a student this week with some concerns about having a digital footprint expanded, and my encouragement to post on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, anywhere you want to post your comments for each week's class collaboration. And I totally get that concern. And so I want to remind you, if you are a student in personal finance in my course, you can post your comments inside of Money Study Group. That is perfectly fine. What you can't do is post it in GroupMe. GroupMe is not for posting class collaboration. But anyway, that's pretty much it. So we're going to talk about budgets and saving, and I'm going to get started. I'm going to check my phone to see if any students have hit me up with every week I wonder, do we have the right Zoom link? So it should take you to this Zoom meeting if you hit uhzoom.com, but somehow that hasn't always worked. So hopefully it's working. If you want to be part of this Zoom meeting, you are invited if you're in the course. If you're not in the course, then I will not admit you. Sorry. So that is it. Let's get started. I want to mention, let me just pop this up if I can. There we go. So we're going to talk about how to budget. That is really the lesson this week. We're going to talk about saving and budgeting and how to do that. But before we do that, I wanted to mention early assignments are something that this is a feature, not a bug. It's a feature of the course. And I get emails like I got this morning from a student who wasn't feeling well and didn't get their homework assignment done, so they wanted an extension. So I'm going to ask you, please, to not send me emails and requests to get an extension on your assignments. Instead, I want to encourage you to do your assignments early, because then when something happens and you're not able to get it on the last minute, you will have it done and you'll get extra points. So again, you get 10 extra points. That's a 20% bump So I designed this course to accommodate students who wanted to earn an A. And I designed this course to not give advantages to students who just want to wait till the last minute or take the easy way. So it's not a difficult course, but there's a super easy way to get an A, and that is do your assignments early. When you do them early, by Friday at 3 p.m., you will have the extra 10 points. You will also get the opportunity to get some feedback from me. So in the event that you're hold on just a second, I want to make sure we're feeding. I think we are. I hope we are. If we're not streaming now, then I think we are. Okay. I need a button to push to identify the stream. Anyway, when you turn in your assignment early, you get the extra points, you get some feedback from me. And if you make a mistake that results in a deduction, you get the opportunity. My commitment to you is if you turn your assignment in Friday by 3 p.m., I'll review it and I'll get back to you and I'll tell you you need to redo it and resubmit it. And if you resubmit your assignment by the due date, which is always Tuesday at 10 a.m., then you will still receive the 10 extra points, even though you get a redo. So I think that's fair. Been doing it for about 10 years, and it's worked out really well. But what hasn't really sunk in, at least at this stage in the semester for students, is that you can just give me an email and ask for an extension. I will send you an email in reply, but it will say what I just said. Turn your assignments in early. If you miss an assignment or you turn it in late, if you turn it in late, you get 1 point. However, you don't get a 20-point deduction on your class collaboration. So you want to turn it in on time. Turn it in early to get the extra points. Turn it in on time. If you get a deduction, you get a deduction. You don't get a do-over if you turn it in at the due date. But if you turn it in late, you get 1 point. You still have to do the assignment. So if you just do the assignment halfway and you turn it in, I'm not going to even give you 1 point, and you will get the deduction, 20 points off your class collaboration, which is 200 points of your overall grade of 950. So I hope that makes sense. Hope you understand that. I appreciate it. I don't really want to spend any more time on that, but I do feel like I owe it to you to go ahead and explain it one more time. And I'll send you, again, I send out all kinds of, public service announcements to remind you to turn your assignments in early so that you can get the extra points and have the other benefits that I outlined. So that's that. So let's talk about saving. You're going this week, you're going to create a budget just to show me what kind of budget you would create. Now, I've been reading your stories, and I really appreciate those. And your stories are quite interesting. So one thing I've learned over the years in teaching this course is there are a lot of students who are accounting students. And if you're one of those students, an accounting student, you probably have far superior skills than I do for making a budget. And that's awesome. So do what you want to do. But this assignment in creating a budget is really an intro assignment. It's not something you have to spend a lot of time on. If you've never created a budget, it's going to be a little more work, and you're going to have to use some tools that maybe you're not used to using, and you're maybe going to have to do some research. You're maybe going to have to call a friend. You're maybe going to have to watch some videos on YouTube, but you need to do that to learn how to create a basic budget. And I'm not looking for any specific type of budget. I just want to know that you know what is a budget, how does it work, and how do you create one, and you will submit that this week in your assignment. So that is that's this week's assignment. It will add on to or help you with the savings assignment that you did last week. Last week, your assignment was to watch some videos and learn about saving. This week, you're going to actually apply a skill of creating a budget and hopefully commit to keeping track of your money for the rest of your life. So I'm going to give you a little I'm going to tell you that this week in your studies, you're going to be asked to select an app. I want you to select an app to track your spending. And later in the semester, when we get to assignment number, I think it's assignment number 11, the blueprint, you're going to create just an overall blueprint for your financial plan. It's all in Right Capital. It's super easy to do. But it's where you'll just get an opportunity to put it all together, what you learned this semester. But in addition to that, in that assignment, you're going to be asked to take what you're committing to do this week, track your spending, and you're going to maintain a record of all your transactions. And I don't care how you do that. You can do that with your bank app. You can do that with mint.com, which, by the way, is the #1 choice for budgeting and tracking expenses. You can use Right Capital. Right Capital has a great tool. To use the Right Capital tool, however, and I'll talk about this more in the next few weeks, to use Right Capital to create your budget and track your spending, which is, I would encourage you to do that. It's free. It's a super great tool, and it's available to you in this course. It's a premium financial planning portal with a budgeting component, but you do not get access. You don't get access to the budget component in Right Capital if you don't link a credit card. So if you have a debit card or a credit card or a bank account, however you spend money, you need to link that in Right Capital. Now, time out. I don't care if you link your cards or not. I know, don't send me an email, please, to say you're not comfortable with the security and yada, yada, yada. Don't do it if you're not comfortable with it. Do something else. I just want to let you know, if you use mint.com, it's exactly the same technology as you would be using in Right Capital. The only difference is they both have bank level encryption, but with mint.com, they're going to be marketing to you. So when you use their platform, you get to be marketed to. So if that's something you want or something you're okay with, by all means, use mint.com to track your spending this semester. It's required. I'm going to ask you what tool you used. I'm going to ask you to show me the data, every transaction, and you're going to get deducted if you don't show me transactions that were preserved using some type of technology. So if you decide you want to use Excel, a spreadsheet, as your technology, chances are 99% of the time those students get at least a 50% deduction on that assignment. Because think about it, if you're going to track your spending, and it's going to create work for you, and you're going to have to go and enter every time you buy a soda or a bottle of water or pay a parking meter, you're not going to do it. You're just not going to do it. And I know that. And maybe you don't know that, but track your spending. Be prepared to show all the transactions for everything you spent this semester so that you can see a graph. That's a third part of the assignment, is you're going to show me a graph. Actually, that's the second part. I want to see all your transactions. I want to see a graph with categories. If you're an accounting student, that's super easy for you. But that's what I'm going to want to see. And if you use an app like your bank app at Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, whatever, you will get that output and you'll be able to categorize. And normally it will categorize your expenses for you. So that's all I want to see. I want to see that chart showing what you spent this semester, and I want to see every transaction. And it's not for me. I don't really care what you spend money on. But what I do care about is that you are able to track your spending and that you are actually being accountable for your spending. That's the whole point of this week's lesson. That's what a budget and it's what a budget's all about. So now I want to just jump into a topic that's near and dear to my heart, which is the 3 laws of personal finance. So we talked about early assignments. Now let's talk about 3 laws of personal finance. So there are 3 laws of personal finance, and if you don't know what they are, you may want to jump on into Money Study Group and check out the resources there titled 3 Laws of Personal Finance. The first law of personal finance is the one we're going to talk about today. It's the law of spending and saving. And if you commit to saving more than you So the law says this: spend less than you earn so you can save more for what matters most. And so that's really the first law of personal finance. The second law of personal finance is the law of tax advantaged investing, and it can really move the needle for you in your investing life. So I'm going to teach you about that later in the semester, but the basics 101 of personal finance starts with the first law of personal finance, which is the law of spending and saving. So that is what we're going to do. Now, I have some students who want to be admitted, but I don't see, well, it's a little late, so I'm just going to suggest I don't want you to miss what we've already covered. It's 10:16 a.m. If it's after 10:05, my basic policy is you won't be admitted because I can't afford to repeat what I said in the beginning. So we wait until 10:05, and if I missed you at 10:05 and you were in the waiting room, I'm sorry. But you're going to need to watch it on YouTube. YouTube is really, now you can watch it on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, but YouTube is my preferred platform for videos. And the reason is because you can listen a whole lot faster than I can talk. So if you watch this after it's posted to YouTube, you can hit that little icon, that little gear, and you can run your video at double speed. So you may want to do that. Okay, next so the three laws of personal finance: the law of spending and saving. Spend less than you earn so you can save more for what matters most. And then the next law is the law of tax advantaged investing. The IRS makes the rules, and I'm going to teach you how to take advantage of the rules so that you can save more by reducing your taxes, mitigating your taxes, and having tax deferred and tax free growth in your investments. So that's not something you're going to want to miss, and it certainly is something you will have to demonstrate that you understand when we get to your capstone assignment. So that's what's coming. All right, so now I want to just take a few minutes and I want to watch this video with you. It's a video I made when I first started teaching this course called The Three Laws of Personal Finance. Let's check it out.
Every college graduate can be a millionaire by age 50 by obeying three laws of personal finance. The three laws of personal finance are the law of spending and saving, the law of tax-advantaged investments, and the law of purpose and commitment. Some people think this is a very bold claim. Every college graduate can be a millionaire by age 50. When you obey these three laws of personal finance, you discover the truth. Saving $1 million in 30 years is really not mission impossible. The law of spending and saving is the most fundamental principle in personal finance. It's also the most disregarded law of personal finance in American history. Spend less than you earn and save more for what matters most. Ben and Frank became friends at age 19. Ben started saving and investing in a well-managed, low-fee, diverse mutual fund that earned an average return of 12% annually. Ben saved $2,000 a year for 8 years and then he stopped. So he invested $16,000. 8 years times 2 equals $16,000. By the time Ben was 65, his investment grew to $2,288,996. Frank, on the other hand, decided he wanted to spend his money on entertainment, dining out, Starbucks, and a nice new BMW. Frank didn't start saving until 9 years later, so by the time Ben stopped investing, Frank was just getting started. Frank, like Ben, saved $2,000 a year. That's $167 a month or $42 a week. Frank invested his $2,000 every year in the same mutual fund as Ben. Frank continued his spending and saving plan until he turned 65. At that point, he had a total of only $1,532,166. Ben saved and invested $2,000 for 8 years, from age 19 to 26. Ben saved and invested a total of $16,000. Frank started his spending and saving plan at age 27 and kept doing it until he was age 65. Frank saved and invested $78,000, and he never caught up to Ben. The law of spending and saving is the most fundamental law of personal finance. Spend less than you earn and save more for what matters most. The law of tax-advantaged investments is next. The IRS makes the law. Your job is to take advantage of the law by investing in tax-advantaged accounts, like 401k, the most common, simple IRA, SEP, best for sole proprietors or employers with no employees, tax-deductible IRAs, 403b for teachers and nonprofits, 457 for government workers, and tax-free investments like the Roth IRA for you, your spouse, or your kids who earn money in your cottage industry. The law of tax-advantaged investments lets you spend less on taxes and save more for what matters most to you. The most important law of personal finance is the law of purpose and commitment. When it comes to managing money and life and work and relationships, and did I say money? There's no law more important than the law of purpose and commitment. Most Americans don't spend time thinking about their true purpose, so most Americans never connect their resources to what matters most. Every college graduate can be a millionaire by age 50.
So that is a video I made a long time ago, and I did get a little pushback from people that I care about because, some folks tell me, including my wife, that it's not really a good idea to try to convince students that making a lot of money is really a higher purpose or a noble cause. And that's true. It is. No matter how much money you make, no matter how much money you save, you're not going to be happy no matter how much you save, no matter how much you accumulate. That's true. And I believe that, and I know that. But on the other hand, I also know that if you look around, you're going to see a lot of folks who basically don't have a plan. They don't pay attention to their money. They don't know how much they spend, and they end up in a financial ditch. And so when I started teaching this course, I wanted you to walk away with something that really mattered to you. And so the only way I knew how to do that was to create a goal for myself to teach you. A goal that I hope you will embrace, and I hope you will say, yeah, that's a good goal. And it is the goal of becoming a millionaire by the time you turn 50. And like I said last week, the first time I suggested this as the big idea of the course, a student in the front row, a very quiet student, asked me the question, have you done that? And so I would be asking that question if I were you. And the answer is yes, I did that, and I know how to do that. Some students say they want to become a billionaire by the time they're 50, and I don't know how to do that. I have no clue, and I certainly wouldn't pretend to teach you that, but I promise you I can teach you how to become a millionaire by the time you're 50, but you have to start with the first law of personal finance. So that is the perfect not the perfect segue either. Class collaboration secret. That's what's next. So let me try this. I'm going to go like that. So this is the class collaboration secret. And remember, every week I'm going to give you a little mini assignment that you get to post a comment either on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever you want to post it. I don't care. Just not group me. Don't post it in group me. You can post it in Money Study Group if you're concerned about having your comments posted in a public way. But this week, the class collaboration is what I call the expectations conversation. So I know that you have some expectations of me. And if we were in class together, I would say, hey, tell me, what do you have the right to expect from me as your professor this semester? What do you have the right to expect from me? And if I did that, if we were together, we would be able to have that conversation, and you would tell me that you expect clear instructions. You want to earn an A in this course, and you expect me to help you do that by giving you clear instructions, making your homework assignments reasonable, And another expectation is you want to learn something that matters, something about personal finance that can help you move the needle in your financial life. Those are the expectations, you would say, a couple of them. And we could go on, and I would ask you what else? What else? And then at the end of that process, as I ask you to tell me, what do you have the right to expect from me? And then you answer that and you give me one. And I say, what else? And I just make a list. And then after we make the list and the list is complete and there's no more answers to the question, what else do you have the right to expect from me? Once we make that list, and I usually put it on the whiteboard, then we go through them. And I say to you, like the first one, you have the right to expect that I give you clear instructions in your assignments. That's right. You do have the right to expect that from me. You have the right, next, to expect that I'm going to teach you something that matters, and I promise you I will do that. And so that makes sense, and we agree, and we move on down the list, and we talk about the things that make sense for me to say, yes, you do have the right to expect that from me, and I will deliver that. And if I don't, then I failed you, okay? But then we get to sometimes things on the list where I say, you know what, that expectation that maybe someone says that I get back to you every time you send me an email or a text message within 30 minutes. Maybe you have a question about an assignment and you expect me to be the one to respond to that in the middle of the day right away because you're working on your assignment and you need somebody to help you and you think that somebody is me. I would tell you in that conversation about expectations, no, you don't have the right to expect me to help you with your homework at the last minute or any time really, because if I do what you asked me to do, if I do what I know I need to do, which is give you clear instructions, give you really excellent educational content so that you know what to do in your assignments, then in that case, that's on you. You have to do that. One of the things you have to do, well, I'll get there in a minute. But so that's how it works. The expectations conversation starts with, what do you have the right to expect from me? And I want to hear from you. That's the class collaboration for this week. I want you to list a couple of things that you believe you have the right to expect from me. Next in the expectations conversation is naturally, what do I have the right to expect from you? I have the right to expect certain things from you. Number one, I would tell you, now that we're teaching an asynchronous course, I have the right to expect that you watch the Zoom meeting every week. I have the right to expect that. So then that's what I would list. And then what else do I have the right to expect from you? Number two is, I expect that you read the instructions and you do the assignment according to the instructions. And that's just a basic expectation. Number three, I would say I have the right to expect from you that you do your assignments on time, that you keep up in class, that you follow the scope and sequence of the course, which is why we have 200 points for class participation, because it keeps you engaged in the course so that as we build your financial plan over the semester, you don't get behind and you're over there when we're all over there. So those are a couple of things that I believe I have the right to expect from you. But I want to know from you, what do you think I have the right to expect from you? Did I miss anything? Is anything that I just said unreasonable, undoable? So that's really your assignment this week, your mini assignment for class collaboration. Just think about it. Think on it for a minute. Give me a couple comments and check that off your list. And just remember, grab a screenshot so you can do that, so you can have that so you don't get deducted, because you get a 25 point, or maybe it's 15. I think, it's a 15-point deduction. And typically, if you don't do the class participation, I just send you an email and I say, did you watch the Zoom meeting? because you missed the class collaboration. So don't miss the class collaboration. It puts you on my radar of students who are not watching the Zoom meeting. And that is absolutely one thing I believe, and I'm confident I have the right to expect from you. So thank you for that. The expectation conversation is this week's class collaboration. So let's talk about next week's assignment. We're going to wrap it up early today, if you don't mind. And I'm going to jump into YouTube and make sure that this video got posted to our YouTube playlist. And hopefully you're watching live now as it's being live streamed. But next week we're going to talk about credit and credit reports. It's a very important assignment, lecture. It's a very important lesson, I guess, in personal finance. And one of the things you're going to do is you're going to get a free credit report. I'm going to show you in the assignment instructions how to do that. And then you're going to basically review that credit report to see what information is on it. You're also going to take a quiz to demonstrate that you understand how a credit report is developed, what information, what data goes into your credit report. Now, I'll just tell you right now that the credit report is different than the credit score. So let me see. That's not there. I thought I had that on my talking points list, but I don't. The credit report is different than the credit score. Now, I know you're concerned, and you should be, about your credit score, but that's really not part of this next week's assignment. So this is next week. It's not this week. This week is budgeting. I just want to give you a heads up about what's coming next week. So if you're one of those A students who are doing your assignments early, you can prepare for that. And one of the things, by the way, that you will do in that next week's assignment is you will create a list of your creditors. So that's part of the assignment. You'll want to do that. If you haven't gathered that information, here's just a heads up. You can get that information ready for next week's assignment. Not this week's assignment, but next week's assignment. So hopefully that helps. So that's it. Next time. Now, I typically at this point would ask for questions, and I'm looking for anyone. Are you guys in the Zoom room? I see several folks, but I'm not hearing from you. Let me look at the chat. Can you guys hear me? Are you there?
Yes, Professor, I had a question.
Okay, cool. A question.
For the right capital, is there any way you can make like a tutorial on how to set it up? Because I'm kind of confused. Like, are we the capital? Are we the client one?
Yep.
Or like the primary client?
Yep.
Do we set up our entire family?
No, you don't need to set up your entire family. Just you. But have you enrolled in Money Study Group yet?
Yes, sir.
So I'll make sure there's a tutorial there that gives you really clear instructions for how to set that up. But have you set up your Right Capital Portal financial plan yet?
I'm like halfway through it, and then I was just realizing I don't think I'm doing this right.
Okay.
So
Well, I wouldn't be too concerned yet. As long as you're in there and you were able to set it up and you know how to log in, you're in good shape for now.
Okay.
And you're going to get more tutorials later on as we get specifically into the plan. So I will make sure that in Money Study Group, I have lots of content for how to get started, because I use this with my clients and I have to give them clear instructions to get set up. And so I'll make sure that you have that information in Money Study Group if it's not already there. If it's there, I'll just make sure that it's prominent. It should be in this week's assignment, though, or this week.
Right.
This week's module is what I meant. So if it's not there in this week's module in Money Study Group, I'll make sure that it gets there. Thank you for that question.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Is the screen fuzzy for you in Zoom?
Yes, it is. It was also like going in and out.
Ghosting.
It was,
Yeah, it was ghosting.
weird.
Yeah. Because I had my background green screen with an image, because I fixed that, but it still looks fuzzy and not great to me. I got to figure that out. I'm sorry for that. there's really nothing that you needed to see in today's lecture that you missed, but if you ever want to watch it in clarity, it should be really clear on YouTube. So
Yeah, I was just about to say that. YouTube, it's very clear, but on Zoom, it's just a little bit blurry.
yeah, sorry about that. Well, thank you. Thank you guys for being here too.
No problem, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You bet. Have a great day. I'm going to go ahead and hit the end button unless somebody else has a question. And I'm going to jump on over to YouTube and make sure this gets posted. And then I'm going to make sure that we have a good solid tutorial for how to set up Right Capital. And I'll make sure that's available inside of Money Study Group. So thank you guys. Have a great week. This week's assignment is really pretty easy, hopefully. If you've never done a budget, it could be a little more tricky, but don't stress over it. Just do your best and show me what you've got. That's all I want. Give it the old college try. And don't forget, turn your assignments in early. Those early assignments will save you, they'll just help you a lot this semester. They'll help you earn an A in an easy way. So that's why it's there. All right, let me see if I can find that end button, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a great day. I'm going to hit the end meeting. Recording stopped. Now I'm going to finish the live stream and jump on over to YouTube and make sure this video got posted into our playlist.